It's a warm welcome live from our studio in Kanifing. This is Gttv News with me, Funejalo. We begin with the top stories. Gambian Parliament this week made a landmark judgment to keep ban on female genital mutilation. Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo was in Banjul for an official trip. Former U.S. President Donald Trump thanked God for saving his life as he appeared in public for the first time after an assassination attempt on his life. Those are the top stories. Stay tuned for more news after this short break. Welcome back. In case you are just joining us, this is Gttv News and I am Funejalo. The Gambian Parliament on Monday overwhelmingly voted against a proposed bill that wanted a lift on the ban of female genital mutilation. The bill, dropped Women Amendment Act 2024, was tabled by Almame Jiba, National Assembly for Foni Councillor. Lamin MCC reports.
The rejection of Almame Jiba's proposal to legalize female circumcision in the Gambia has been met with mixed reactions among Gambians. Right groups and advocates have welcomed Parliament's move for throwing out the bill they described as harmful. However, in a counter-reaction, supporters of female circumcision were left in agony, prompting dozens, including women and clerics, vowing to take their girl children through the practice. FGM is punishable by law in the Gambia up to 3 years in prison with a hefty fine of $50,000. The practice was outlawed by the Gambian Parliament in 2015 under former President Yahya Jammeh. After months' debate over the practice, which left the country in limbo, this past Monday lawmakers voted that FGM should be kept illegal. During a tense voting, 32 lawmakers voted to keep the law, while 20 voted to quash the law that banned the practice. Other MPs abstained. This is what happened in Parliament during the voting.
1, clause 1, subtitle. It is proposed that clause 1, subtitle, stand back of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. No. Those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those not in favor, please say no. No. Honorable members, my point is, I'm trying to tell you, this side has been down. And it looks like you are connected with it. And this one, I want your voices. And I hope that we will be examined. Those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those not in favor, please say no. No.
Meanwhile, the Gambia government also issued a warning to the public against practicing female genital mutilation after Parliament upheld 2015 law that criminalized the practice. It said that FGM remains a crime in the Gambia, and anyone found engaging or facilitating this practice will face the full force of the law. Reporting for Gttv News, I am Lamlam Cisse.
Now, last Friday, the Gambian President Adama Barrow received his Ghanaian counterpart Nana Akufo-Addo in Banjul. Mr. Akufo-Addo, who was on an official visit, was given a heroic welcome by Ghanaians residing in the country with cultural performance at the Banjul International Airport. The two leaders had a tete-a-tete before crossing to Barra in the North Bank region, where he interacted with the Ghanaian Economic Detachment. I was among a group of journalists at the Banjul International Airport, and this was my report. After a fanfare welcome ceremony by both Gambians and Ghanaians at the airport, Both President Adama Barrow and his counterpart Akufo-Addo drove to the State House, where they held a closed-door meeting. Mr. Akufo-Addo later crossed to Barra to meet the Ghanaian economic contingent, who have been stationed at the northern part of the country since the coming of the forces of the regional bloc, following former President Jammeh refused to step down in power after losing to the incumbent. Speaking to reporters, President Nana Akufo-Addo said the economic contingents are happy to serve in the Gambia.
I came here today for a one-day working visit with the President. We had some very constructive discussions, matters of mutual interest, as they say. And I also had the opportunity to go and visit the Ghanaian troops. As you're all aware, there is a contingent of Ghanaian troops here as part of the ECOWAS Stabilization Force in the Gambia. And I went to Barra to visit with them. They're very happy. They're happy to be here, and they're happy to be contributing to the peace and stability of your country.
For his part, Gambian leader Adama Barrow commended Mr. Akufo for sending troops from his country, which he described to have been very helpful in the relationship of the two countries.
When I came to power in 2017, he said his first major decision on his table was Gambia, to send troops to Gambia. So obviously Ghana have been very, very supportive, and we are very happy that he came to visit. It's just a walking visit, but we discuss a lot, bilateral issues about the sub-region also.
Adding that 23 Gambians who were sent to Ghana to study engineering through scholarships came out with positive results in their performance.
We sent about 23 Gambians to go study engineering. They all came out with positive results. They all came out with distinction. I told the President today that it's really very, very special.
Funejalo reports. The Washington West African Center on Monday handed donation of materials, including foodstuffs, school stationery, socks, clothes, and different culturally wrapped around services to underprivileged families in Gambian. The donated items were distributed by the office staff in the Gambia. Lumod Lamin Job tells us more.
On Monday, 14th July 2024, the Washington West African Center's team in the Gambia traveled to Kerbiram village in Upper Badibu district, North Bank region of the Gambia to donate foodstuffs, school stationery, socks, clothes, and different culturally wrapped around services to these underprivileged families. These gifts were received by the natives of the village with open arms, and it was a perfect time to extend our support to them because Kerbiram is an underprivileged society which lacks almost all the basic provisions for one to thrive comfortably with a total peace of mind. After successfully distributing the materials, the beneficiaries thank Wawak and Pausman Juf for their benevolence, while calling on all and sundry to emulate Pausman Juf for giving back to his community back home. Omar Seka, the head of the village or Alcalo of Kerbiram, thanked Wawak for their generosity and implored Wawak to help them with boreholes in their women's garden and good road network. Imam of the village Yusuf Seka also conveyed similar remarks and called on Wawak to help them with corn or millet milling machines while thanking Pausman Juf and his partners. In their quest for farming and gardening, Yusufa pleaded to Wawak to help them with fertilizers to boost agriculture in the village. Farmer YFM Jallo, the head teacher of Kerbiram Lower Basic School, welcomed Wawak's gesture and thanked them for putting smiles on their faces as we gave them school stationery. He also pointed out their needs as far as the school and the community's health is concerned, while calling on all and sundry to help them.
So as far as Kerbiram community is concerned, really the primary health care system in this community is very lacking, and there cannot be any development without good health.
Many vote of thanks from the different speakers upon receiving the donated items, including women, youth, and men. Washington West African Center's country attaché Mutlamin Job elaborated on the previous donation they made in different parts of the country and assured the community of Kerbiram of Wawak's continued support.
So it's our responsibility sometimes to give back to our community. We cannot leave everything in the hands of the government or whatever. So as per Wawak, we'll do our utmost best to make sure that, all your demands, if we cannot meet all of them, but we make sure we meet at least above 50% to actually tell you we can be able to do that for you for free of charge.
For the past 7 years, through our giving back to the Motherland project, the Washington West African Center has been sending clothes, electronics, school supplies, and food to different countries.
to support needy families. In the Gambia, we have been to so many villages, and the last one of which was in Bakari Sambuya village 2 months ago, is a clear testament to our unrest quest in bridging the gap between us and the wider community. Reporting for Gttv News, I am Modlamin Job.
US-based Gambian activist Jaha Dukure, who has been a leading figure in the fight to keep female genital mutilation criminal, has asked the Gambian government to implement the full force of law that criminalize FGM. The founder Safe Hands was reacting to Parliament's move to keep the ban on female circumcision in the country. Modlamin Job again.
FGM is still punishable under the laws of the country up to 3 years in prison and a hefty fine of $50,000 after MPs voted to maintain a law that banned the practice in 2015. Reacting to Parliament's move to keep the ban, despite defiance among some Gambians, including dozens of Muslim clerics, Mrs. Dukure praised Gambian lawmakers for keeping a ban on female genital mutilation.
To ensure that the bill against FGM is passed, and today I celebrate for Gambian girls. I'm not celebrating for me. I've said this, once this law is maintained, right? For me, I don't need to work on FGM for me to survive. FGM, ending FGM is not a career for me. This is all I wanted for our country, and I am so happy. I am so elated. So thank you, Gambia. Thank you to our National Assembly members. Thank you to the Joint Committee. And thank you to Sidi Njai for all he has done. I'm Gambian first. We're all Gambian. Our first identity and what unites us is the fact that we are Gambian. So for us now, it's time to work with our communities and reunite people and educate them. This is not the end of our fight. If anyone holds a grudge against me or is mad at me, this is my belief. I'm not here to hurt anyone. I'm not here to hurt communities. It's just that I believe that we should have laws that are going to protect women and girls against FGM.
As she called for calm and unity, she however urged the government to punish anyone found to violate the law. She also promised to keep sensitizing the public about the ban in a bid to ensure full compliance of the law.
Well, there's a lot of organizations that are working on this issue in the Gambia. I think my next step is working with them and supporting them maybe financially for them to get out in the communities and educate people about the law and also try to unite people, because this has caused a lot of fights and violence among ourselves, which is not necessary. So my goal is to work with not only my organization Safe Hands, but to work with others to ensure that people are educated enough. Laws are a preventive mechanism, right? Gambia should definitely work on implementation of the law. Having good laws on paper without implementation doesn't make sense. So our government has a moral obligation to ensure that now that the bill has been maintained, that we ensure that along with implementation, we're also educating people about the law. I hope the police, National Assembly, the Gambian government, everyone works together to ensure that implementation is key. Because without implementation, these are just laws on paper and they're just word and no one cares.
Almame Jiba, National Assembly member for the councillor, had proposed to legalize the female circumcision. He still vowed to continue the fight until the law against females is quashed. Reporting for Gttv News, I am Modlamin Job.
From that story by our Modlamin Job will lead us to our first break. When we come back, we look at internationals. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now let's shift our focus to news making around the world. Former U.S. President Donald J. Trump has appeared in public for the first time since assassination attempt on him during a rally in Pennsylvania. Mr. Trump appeared at the Republican National Convention with a bandage on his right ear. He was given a heroic welcome as dozens were in tears, Modlamin Job reports.
With a bandage strapped over one ear, Donald J. Trump made a triumphant return to the public eye on Monday evening at the Republican National Convention, receiving a rapturous welcome from thousands of supporters 2 days after an attempt on his life. The former president entered the convention arena in Milwaukee with a fist raised onto the stage of a live performance of God Bless the America. He then slowly walked through cheering crowds of delegates, some with tears in their eyes, before greeting key political allies and members of his family, including 3 of his children, but not his wife, Melania. At moments, the audience pumped their fist and called out, "Fight, fight, fight," echoing Trump's cry after a bullet grazed his ear at a rally in Pennsylvania on Saturday.
The Republican nominee for November's presidential contest is riding a wave of political momentum. The Democratic Party has been questioning 81-year-old Joe Biden's candidacy following a poor debate performance last month, while Trump's team has celebrated recent legal victories. At the FISA Forum in Milwaukee, the former president listened to about an hour of speech while sitting next to his running mate and vice presidential candidate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, whose place on the ticket for November's election was announced only hours before. Trump did not make a speech, but his appearance moved by the crowd of thousands. He bowed his head in prayer and mouthed several times, "Thank you, everybody." Supporters and Republican delegates, some with tears in their eyes, had been waiting for hours for the former president's appearance, which was not officially listed on the schedule for the opening day of the convention, but was widely expected. Among Monday's range of other speakers were the head of the Teamsters Labor Union, Sean O'Brien, who said he was not endorsing any specific party, but praised Trump as being tough and willing to hear critical voices. The conference also heard from an ex-Trump critic, the model and rapper Amber Rose, who described her political journey towards the ex-president. She added, "Trump supporters don't care if you are black, white, gay or straight. It is all love." Donald Trump's appearance was the highlight of an event first day of the Republican gathering in Wisconsin, one of 6 battleground states that will decide the election. Before the convention officially opened, news broke that a federal judge had dismissed criminal charges against Trump for stashing more than 300 classified documents at his Florida resort after his first term in office. Eileen Cannon, a Trump appointee, ruled that Special Prosecutor Jack Smith was unlawfully appointed to his role and did not have the authority to bring a 37-count indictment against the former president. It was another victory for the Republican candidate, who now faces no prospect of another criminal trial before Americans go to the polls on November 5th. Soon after the convention opened, nearly 2,500 Republican delegates formally nominated Donald Trump as their presidential candidate during a roll call vote. Reporting for Gttv News, I am Odlamin Job.
Cyanide has been found in the blood of all 6 people who died in a luxury hotel suite in Bangkok, doctors said after examining their bodies based on the internal post-mortem examination. They say there is no other cause that would explain their deaths except for cyanide. But they are doing further tests to determine the intensity of the deadly chemical and to rule out any other toxicants, Fatijub reports.
Forensic investigators had earlier found traces of cyanide of the teacups used by the victims. All of them of Vietnamese origin. Police suspect that one of the dead was behind the poisoning and was driven by crossing depth. The victims' lips and nails had turned dark purple, indicating a lack of oxygen, while their internal organs turned blood red, which is other sign of cyanide poisoning, said Professor Conquet of the Department of Forensic Medicine at university. Police have since begun to piece together what might have happened. 2 of the 6 victims had loaned tens of millions of baht to another of the decades from investment purpose. Authorities said 10 million baht is worth $280,000 and $215,000. Earlier on Wednesday, Deputy Bangkok Police Chief Gen Nopasen Ponsawa told a press conference the group checked into the hotel separately over the week and were assigned 5 rooms, 4 on the 7th floor and 1 of the 5th. They had been scheduled to check out on Monday but failed to do so. 4 of the victims and Vietnamese nationals. Tin Nguyen Phang, 46, husband Hong Pham Thang, 49, Tin Nguyen Phang Lan, 47, and Ding Tran Po, 37. The other 2 are American citizens, Sarin Chong, 56, and Dan Hong Van, 55. The U.S. State Department has offered its condolences and said it is closely monitoring the situation. The U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation is assisting Cha authorities in the investigation. Mr. Sarita said, police said on Monday afternoon, all 6 victims gathered in the room on the 5th floor. The group ordered food and tea, which was delivered to the room around 2 local time, 8 BST, and received by Mrs. Chung, who was the only person in the room at the time. According to the deputy police chief, the waiter recalled that she spoke very little and was visibly under stress. Authorities said the waiter left the room. The rest of the groups then began streaming into the room at various points between 3 after 2 and 17 after 2. No one else is believed to have entered the room apart from the 6 inside, and police have said the door to the room was locked from within. Police said there were no signs of a struggle, robbery, or forced entry. There were found traces of signing in all 6 teacups. Pictures released by the police show plates of untouched food left on a table in the room, some of them still covered in sling wrap. There was a 7th name on the groups, Hotel Booking, whom police identified as the younger sister of one of the victims. She had left Thailand last week for the Vietnamese coastal city of Da Nang and is not involved in the incident, police said. Relatives interviewed by the police said Chen Yang Fong and Hong Pham Tang, a couple, own a road construction business and has given money to MS Chung to investigate in a hospital building project in Japan. Police suspect that Mr. Tang, a makeup artist based in Da Nang, had also been duped into making an investment. Fatuju, Gttv News.
And I'm afraid that brings us to the end of this news bulletin. But before we take a leave of you, here are the main stories once again. Gambian Parliament this week made a landmark judgment to keep ban on female genital mutilation. Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo was in Banjul for an official trip. Former U.S. President Donald Trump thanked God for saving his life as he appeared in public for the first time after an assassination attempt on his life. I have been your presenter in this news bulletin. My name is Funejalo. Thank you for your company. Do join us again for the same program from me and our production team. Bye.